Do you struggle with relating to other people? Are you challenged when it comes to connecting with them and being able to communicate with people in an effective way? Hey, I'm Pastor Jeff Kaplan with Strength for Today with Dr. J. I have been involved in ministry going back to 1985, and I've seen the full spectrum of people who get along great with others and those who we can say are people skill challenged. Well, in this video, I'd like to share with you why people skills, in fact, superb people skills, are so incredibly important. And I'm going to just briefly touch on a passage in the Bible that addresses this very issue. Superb people skills are indispensable for any leader. That's true for leaders in the church or leaders outside the church with any organization or just relating to other people. Having the ability to effectively communicate with others as a diplomat is important for any person who is involved as a form of service to God or in any other organization. Relating well to people is vitally important. To any kind of group is important. I'll never forget one man who somehow managed to work his way into the leadership of the church that I was pastoring. In time, it became apparent to me that this guy, what can I say? He was people skill challenged. Rarely did this man ever smile at anyone. He would not typically use another person's name or say a kind word of encouragement to them. In fact, this guy was not even one who you would ever see shaking another person's hand. He was the kind of man that if he was 2 feet smaller, he could have doubled for Grumpy from the Seven Dwarfs. In fact, when he would enter into a room, oftentimes people would look away. They run really not to have any interaction with him. All that was necessary in that church for a man to be able to qualify as an elder, as a leader in the church, was to be able to secure a vote of 50% of the congregation. Somehow, this man managed to squeak on by with 51% of the vote of that church family. And instead of catching a clue and realizing that he really didn't have the support of the congregation overall, he decided to go ahead and move forward as an elder. Now, you may be thinking, well, Jeff, I've known many leaders in my life, and they're oftentimes cold or impersonal. They could be rather stuffy, but they manage to get the job done. Oh, they may not be the friendliest, the warmest people in the world, but they see to it that what needs to be accomplished gets accomplished. Now, while that may be true, it really is to everyone's benefit when a leader has superb people skills. When that happens, the workers often feel wanted and appreciated and needed. They are people who often feel valued for who they are and not used. And beyond that, when there is a person who is working maybe in an assistant role, that person will feel even more motivated to do the best job that they possibly can when they have a leader with some pretty decent people skills. In fact, when a worker has someone who is coming alongside them that excels with people skills, oftentimes that person will want to stay with their area of service for an extended period of time. Leaders also benefit when they have superb people skills. And the reason for that is because they will have the knowledge that they are able to draw out the best in other people. So, which people skills make all the difference in the world in terms of effectively communicating to other people? You say, well, that's pretty easy. All you have to do is pick up a copy of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. All you got to do is read that book, and the answers are all right there for you. Well, Dale Carnegie has some good suggestions in that book, and yet he does not have a corner on the market. When the Apostle Paul was sitting in a lonely prison in Rome, and he realized that death was imminent for him, he thought about the importance of people skills in the ministry. And while that famous church planter, that apostle, was lonely and cold in a dungeon, what he did was he picked up a pen and he wrote an intensely personal letter to his young son in the faith, Pastor Timothy. And Paul was concerned for Timothy. He wanted him to have a successful ministry. He desired so much that Timothy would work out well in the ministry. And so, to help Timothy along the lines of having people skills that would be effective, Paul picks up his pen and he paints several word pictures for Timothy. And they are all found in Second Timothy, the second letter that the Apostle Paul wrote to his young son in the faith. And in Second Timothy, we come across three verses at the very end of that book that really promotes strong people skills. 2 Timothy chapter 2, starting in verse 24, begins by saying, "And the Lord's bondservant." Let's stop right there for a few moments. The word bondservant in the Greek is doulos. It refers to the third row galley slaves back in first century. And as a doulos, as a servant, as a pastor, an elder, as maybe a deacon, no matter who a person happens to be in terms of influencing others, what Paul shares to Timothy is effective for all of us because we all have individuals we're trying to influence and we're trying to convince of certain information. We want people to work with us and not against us. Well, from there, in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 24, it tells us that the Lord's bondservant must possess certain key qualities. And these qualities all add up to superb people skills. And these are qualities that by necessity need to be a part of people who are involved in the ministry, who are serving other people inside or perhaps outside of the church. Now, in this passage, I come across 5 indispensable qualities that need to ring true in the life of a person. It could be a man, it could be a woman, could be a young person. But these 5 qualities make all the difference in the world with how we impact people. We're going to be breaking out each of these specific people skills in the upcoming videos that we're going to be looking at. And so make sure that you check out this next video, and it will give you the first important superb people skill that you need to secure for yourself in order to enhance your communication with others. So make sure you check out that video. Again, I'm Jeff Kaplan, and if you'd like to drop me a line, go ahead and reach out to me with Strength for Today with Dr. J at gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, may God bless you and give you his strength for today.